He is an engineer by day and a SPARKcon bobblehead at night. He enjoys creating big toys in his spare time, like the Rock'em Sock'em robots. His 3 words that he, himself, and many others have chosen for him are creative, intuitive, and generous. Let us all welcome Truett Thompson.
Thank you, sir. Woohoo! It's SPARKcon time, everybody. This is my favorite weekend out of the entire year. I'm so glad you're here to enjoy this with me and kick off SPARKcon. We have many, many hours of programming for you, over 400 hours. Anything to your delight, we have something for you. So I'm a creative person by nature. I've created 10-foot-tall wearable Sock'em robots, dancing Sparkies, the Sky Dancer Sparky you may see blowing up around the world, the Beer 2D2 mobile kegerator. But it takes my networks to help me create these wonderful things. When our SPARKcon planners get organizing, we give them a format. We give them a format, there's an advocate, there's a planner. We have regular meetings, but one of the great things is tapping our existing networks. As a bobblehead, I go to a few more meetings than everybody else, but this is where we do all of our planning. Most of the planning for SPARKcon is completed before you guys show up here. So 90% of the work is already done. We're showing up here, and we're going to have a great time this weekend. Everybody has a network, and we call it a family. So my parents and grandparents were all born and raised in North Carolina. I wasn't born here, but when I came up to go to NC State many years ago, I was really coming home. And I have a deep network across the state. But when I came to NC State, I formed a new network with my classmates. And in the dorm, I formed a network with friends. Some people had joined fraternities or sororities, and we formed those networks. And we keep those networks going after we graduate through support of our alumni and other things. There's lots of different social networks out today, and I'm sure most people in here are part of one of these two, Facebook or LinkedIn. And why do we do it? Because we want to be connected to people. We want to see if they change jobs, if they're having a birthday, the fun thing their cat or their kids did that day. There are other types of networks as well. There's the Raleigh Greenway system. It's a great system. We have over 100 miles of paved greenways in Raleigh. I think it's one of our feathers in our cap that everybody wants to emulate. In another couple of years, after we get the little connections done, we're going to have endless possibilities of rides. The first internet was created back in the 70s, and at that point, it was illegal to use the internet for anything besides government work. How many of you use it for government work these days? Okay, maybe a few. But I just do my taxes, and that's about it. So there's lots of different networks out there. I've formed many friendships and many networks in Raleigh over the past couple of years, or many years that I've lived here. I know we've just had our 1,000,000th resident join Wake County, but I feel like Wake County and Raleigh's getting smaller every year because of the connections and the networks I have with people throughout Raleigh. Last year at a PK speech that Todd Delk gave, he talked about the Conarock Trail Crew, which helps build and maintain the Appalachian Trail. And it's created by a network of the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, the National Park Service, and the U.S. and the Forest Service, along with some trail clubs. So I spent a week in July with 8 other volunteers, Todd and a couple of crew leaders, and we helped build a national park. It was awesome. We helped build part of the Appalachian Trail. And we talked up SPARKcon so much that one of the guys here is getting ready to come down from Virginia and join us for all the fun. I also use my networks to do other things. Namely, I've coordinated 3 different groups to come out to work with Habitat for Humanity. We did a couple of deconstruction jobs, and if you guys have never been to a decon site, it's a great stress reliever. Tearing down walls and drywall, wonderful stuff. Well, last October, Janet from my bobblehead network she sent me a video of somebody who created this xylophone in Japan. I was talking with Stephanie Brinson from the Music Spark Network, and we wanted to create some crowd interactive musical thing that people could work with. So the xylophone idea was born. Many years ago, I met Matt McConnell from McConnell Studios in college, part of my network. And he creates wonderful things like this stage that we're using tonight and many other wonderful things. But because I know Matt, he allows me to use his space and create for my creative endeavors. So one rainy Saturday afternoon several weeks ago, I used my MusicSpark network. I called up a bunch of people, and they came down and they helped me make this xylophone that's out in the courtyard tonight. So we painted all day and had a lot of fun. And when I need to create instructions for the xylophone that we have outside, I looked no further than my MusicSpark organizers, that network. Because the great thing about networks is you never know what is in that network. In this case, Daryl Pittman is a trained graphic designer, and he helped me create some wonderful instructions. And Jesse, who will be speaking a little bit later tonight, I roped him in to help volunteering last year with GeekSpark. Through his networks at NC State and through the Assist Center, we have a new sponsor for GeekSpark, Device Solutions, and I'd like to thank them for that. So working my networks, I was able to get some extra sponsorship for GeekSpark. My challenge to you tonight, go out and work your networks. Get off the bench, get in the game. There's Meetup, you can find different groups to work with that share your interest. Get off the bench, get in the game, work your networks. It will enrich you. It's certainly enriched me. I'm glad with all the networks that I work with. So go out, get those networks working, and create something wonderful. Something wonderful like SPARKcon here. It's through those networks that we've built SPARKcon. Thank you.